People who have credibility with young people should be on the television telling these youngsters that it's wrong to carry a gun.
Ultimate tragedy, bloodied and dead. Jovan Belcher's action, handguns do not enhance our safety.
And just really brainwash people into thinking about guns in a vastly different way.
The assault weapons ban made sense.
Well, the establishment's war against the right to keep and bear arms and the rest of our Bill of Rights is now reaching a high tide mark. And you can make no mistake, Bob Costas during Sunday Night Football on NBC was declaring war on the Second Amendment.
You want some actual perspective on this? Well, a bit of it comes from the Kansas City-based writer James Whitlock. Our current gun culture, Whitlock wrote, ensures that more and more domestic disputes will end in the ultimate tragedy, and that more convenience store confrontations over loud music coming from a car will leave more teenage boys bloodied and dead.
And make no mistake, he was reading off a teleprompter at that time, and his remarks had all been pre-approved.
Handguns do not enhance our safety. They exacerbate our flaws, tempt us to escalate arguments, and bait us into embracing confrontation rather than avoiding it.
Turning the NFL into even more of a propaganda tool of the authoritarians that control Washington, D.C.
If Jovan Belcher didn't possess a gun, he and Cassandra Perkins would both be alive today.
Leave it to NBC and Bob Costas to take a tragic event and try to capitalize on it to destroy the Second Amendment of our Bill of Rights and Constitution. Coming out and blaming a tragic shooting on the Second Amendment is asinine. It's like blaming obesity on spoons and forks, but that's exactly what he did. Costas really thinks we're stupid when he says, you know, there's a gun culture in the NFL. You mean the thug culture that's in the NFL? Pit bull fights and all the rest of it? You mean that culture? They're trying to claim that the American gun culture is the thug culture that's in the NFL. Don't blame us for your culture of drugged out of their mind athletes on pain pills and psychotropic drugs like Prozac known to cause psychotic breaks, and men who have had concussions after concussions after concussions going home and killing their families. And you notice Bob Costas says, I know in the days to come the NFL may get blamed, but you can't deny it's guns. If there wouldn't have been guns, this wouldn't have happened. He's saying, let's blame the Second Amendment. Let's blame one of the few rights left in this country. Let's not blame the NFL and the decadent gladiatorial spectacle it's become. The bureaucracy that's hijacked this country admits they're coming after our firearms. They have told us that they are doing this.
Part of it is seeing if we can get an assault weapons ban reintroduced.
Obama 4 years ago told supporters that he doesn't like bitter clingers, people that cling to their Second Amendment.
So it's not surprising then that they get bitter and they cling to guns or religion.
Think of how stupid the gun grabbers think you are. They point out the violence that's going on in the youth of this country in places like Chicago and New York that have the highest crime rates in the United States, where they've completely banned guns for the general public. And then they point at Chicago and New York and say that's the reason that we need to turn our guns in places like Texas.
Frankly, in my hometown of Chicago, there's an awful lot of violence, and they're not using AK-47s, they're using cheap handguns.
It's incredible. They take the guns, the crime rates explode in those areas, while the crime rates drop in areas all over the United States where you have a high rate of legal, lawful gun ownership. I expected the victim disarmament anti-defense crowd to come out and use this tragedy. But to see the NFL, NBC, via their frontman, Bob Costas, do it, lets you know that they are blowing the bugle, that they are charging in on our Second Amendment, and all the facts prove that that is what is now happening.
None of us are under any illusion that reinstating that ban would be easy. And so what we focused on is existing laws.
If the president would stage Fast and Furious, shipping guns into Mexico to demonize the Second Amendment and call for a gun ban, they will use any crisis out there to restrict our guns.
Trafficking illegal firearms, sending them across a border, is illegal. That's something that we can stop. And so our focus is to work with Secretary Napolitano Attorney General Holder.
And now the reports are beginning to come out that Obama may use executive orders to restrict the Second Amendment because he can't get Congress to do it. He's already done that on cybersecurity. He's already done that shutting down power plants. He's already said NATO and the UN command our military. He is becoming a dictator more and more. They have asked the media to go out and blame everything on our right to keep and bear arms.
People who have credibility with young people should be on the television telling these youngsters that it's wrong to carry a gun.
So what you're seeing is part of the brainwashing that Attorney General Holder called for more than 15 years ago and is calling for again.
And just really brainwash people into thinking about guns in a vastly different way.
And the fact that Costas would be authorized to do something like this during Sunday football with the NFL lets you know they mean business. A corporate company man like Costas, you know he got it approved. So this is the NFL and NBC endorsing an attack on one of the few basic liberties that America has left. Unbelievably outrageous, and signals a coordinated attack on the Second Amendment. And if we won't speak out against this now, if we won't demand that Bob Costas at least apologize for using this tragedy, we're going to lose our Second Amendment. Now, Hank Williams Jr. said this country was turning into a dictatorship, and he was fired.
You mean when John Boehner played golf with President Obama?
Oh, yeah. It'd be like Hitler playing golf with Netanyahu, okay?
Okay.
Not hardly.
All we're asking for is that Bob Costas apologize and that the NFL repudiate what was said, as well as NBC. But if that is not done, I promise you this, and over 150 million other gun owners in this country do as well, we are not going to rest until the NFL loses a large portion of their audience and NBC sponsors or boycotted. It's time to turn off the NFL. It's time to turn off NBC, and it's time to stop watching that little globalist frontman, Bob Costas. It's time to take it personal when they try to take our guns. That's why I'm calling for everyone to mail spoons with a note explaining to NBC that blaming guns for crime is like blaming spoons for fat people. And it's time to mail Bob Costas spoons. We're going to put the address under this video in the links below. And it's time to call the sponsors of NBC and the NFL and to let them know you're not going to support them either. It's time for the American people to stand up. It's time for the sleeping giant that is the United States of America to rediscover the Bill of Rights and Constitution. These are our rights, and you are not going to steal them. Do you understand this? The Second Amendment is the line in the sand. I'm Alex Jones, signing off for Infowars.com.